Hey everybody, Frank here, Godzilla Island, with a review of Dawnrunner 2 for the Major Squad channel here. Last we left off with issue 1, we have our Anita Marr, who is the Iron King pilot. That's what they call the mechs in this. She was fighting this Kaiju, which they refer to as the Tetza. They came to the planet through portals over Central America years ago, and they've been fighting them since. So last we left off, she was fighting this Kaiju here. Supposedly this fight was going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. This was a very docile Kaiju. She was doing great, and then all of a sudden she had these visions of Ichiro Takada, and we found out that his consciousness is inside this mech, is what it seems. So here we have on the cover, we see a little girl watching this fight here, and we find out in the opening of this that that is Anita's daughter. She's in this hospital. You see here, it looks like they're sitting on a field with butterflies and flowers, but it must be some sort of simulation. She's like in a hazmat suit. All these people come in, they're like, hey, it's time to go, you gotta leave. And she leaves the hospital, and she gets picked up here by the man that runs the show. He kind of is trying to poke and prod her to find out what happened while she was piloting this. At this point, these fights with the Tetza, they're just like almost like a show that they put on. It's all for ratings and PR, and he just dumps his money into these robots to make them better, his Iron Kings. He just wants to know what the flaw is. And we find out in that little conversation that Anita's daughter has a virus that probably came from the Tetza when they came through the portal. There's no cure for it, and the virus is basically making her body fight itself. So they have her in the hospital taking care of her while Anita's out there fighting these Tetzas, basically to put on a show. And we get a little flashback here as she's trying to remember what she saw and what went down in the fight. And you see it was a pretty brutal, bloody fight. Turns out she was out of commission for like over a couple of minutes. It was a while. I forgot what the exact time was on that. But like, what happened? Like, you were about, the mech got pummeled, you almost got killed. They said she was out for 4 minutes and 18 seconds. That's a long time to be out when fighting a Kaiju. But she finally came through, and she just butchered the thing and was the winner. But the mech Dawnrunner was banged up, and now it's under repairs, and they kind of have Anita grounded. I mean, really incredible art here, done by Cagle. Really well done, the colors. Now Anita's kind of wanting to know what happened, so she goes back to the base, and you see here the mech Iron King's all kind of beat up and it's undergoing some serious repairs, and it's basically going to be grounded for a while. And she's kind of like, I want to just reconnect with the mech. I don't need to pilot it. I just need to connect to it to kind of see and remember what I saw. And she goes in, and they're kind of against it. And what's interesting here, I want to point out, is when she's looking at the mech, it looks almost fleshy. So they did say his consciousness is connected. They have been using the Tetza to make these mechs, so I don't know if this is partially a living organism, these mechs. This new model, the Dawnrunner, is supposed to be an extension of, feel more like an extension of your body than a vehicle. And basically she reconnects, and she finds Ichiro looking for his family again, and he thinks he's too late and lost them. And we see here it's his daughter and son, I suppose, coming out from under the rubble. I know he's mentioned the wife, so I don't know where she's at, but these are all flashbacks, and his consciousness is in Dawnrunner. So I'm thinking we're gonna get more of his story in issue 3, more of Anita's story. Her having a daughter was a big reveal. I did not expect her to be a mother. I mean, she seemed like she was a young hotshot pilot, kind of doing her own thing. There was no mention of that in the first issue, so that was a bit of a surprise to start the issue off like that. I honestly thought this was a flashback of Anita with her mother, but then when she was talking about seeing her on TV, and I'm like, oh, she did fight, and they were televising her fights. So, and it looks a lot like Anita, so it was her indeed. Really cool. This is a mini series. It's going to be a 5-issue run. So the next issue will be the halfway point. So I'm expecting to see some progression there. It's definitely a different style kaiju mecha story. Really digging it. I really want to see where it goes. Like I feel like this is gonna like get really good right as it ends, and it's gonna leave us wanting more. So maybe there'll be a follow up. But let's see where the next 3 issues take us, and let me know what you think of this if you've been reading Dawnrunner issues 1 and 2 so far. If you haven't read issue 1, you can go back and have the issue 1 review here. I'll put it up at the end of the video. Here's a link to go back to watch. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed.